Well, it's a story we've likely all experienced or at least heard about. Parents or fans getting aggressive with referees at sporting events, even children's games. Sometimes things even turned physical. Now, more than a dozen states do not have laws when it comes to protecting referees, and now lawmakers in Wisconsin are trying to change that.
People have said, we need to do something that brings attention to this fact. And one of the ways we do that is by introducing some legislation such as LRB 4781 here in Wisconsin to make it a more serious offense when you harass a sports official.
Now, Barry Mano is the president of the National Association of Sports Officials, and he says that they have seen an uptick in refs being harassed. His group did a survey and found 47% of officials felt unsafe on the job. Now, when it came to female officials, that number jumped more than 50%. Nearly 60% of all officials said they had to step in to stop a fight.
Sports is simply life with the volume turned up. So in some measure, why are we surprised that active sporting contests are sort of exhibiting the behavior that we see today? So it really falls on the backs of the people who own the games to make sure that the value system is in place and that it's enforced.
Mano says this is leading to fewer people getting into the business of officiating. Housing prices are forcing people to take some extreme measures. Communal living or co-living is a trend that is getting more popular across the country. So tomorrow we're going to get a firsthand look at just how startups are adding affordability in expensive neighborhoods, but at a price.
We had some afternoon flurries. Tonight we're clearing out. Temperature drops to 25 with the full moon. Tomorrow 42 and partly sunny. The change, the wind, it'll be a little stronger. South at 15 with gusts over 20 miles per hour. Here's the breakdown by noon. We're at 39 and then we settle into the 40s. That's all for the Now Indy. The news at 6 starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6, residents say it's a dangerous and unusual intersection that sends some drivers careening off the road. It's an issue we've highlighted before, and we find out why it's still a problem.
With dry weather on the way, we'll follow the temperature, and the trend is up in the short term.
A woman dealing with the loss of her husband. Now the hospital where he died can't find his belongings. Belongings that contain important and treasured information.
Sex without consent isn't a crime in Indiana. That may sound shocking to you. What this means for you and how one lawmaker is trying to change this.
Even 2 weeks out from Christmas, some stores are still hiring for temporary holiday positions. The warning we have for you tonight: how to avoid slick job scams. Well, good evening and thanks for being here. First at 6, a woman urgently calling for change at what she calls a dangerous intersection on the northeast side.
And this isn't her first time reaching out for results. She says she has contacted the city and even made suggestions, but still she fears one day a crash will take a deadly turn.
RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you to explain the problem and the new push to get results.
Kathleen Height has been working since May to find a safety solution for the 71st and Fairwood intersection.
Someone's going to die. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid to go down there and see that someone has died, and I've done everything I could to prevent it.
RTV6 first connected with Height in June after Height contacted us about the intersection. By then, she'd already been in touch with the city a few times. She'd even suggested guardrails to keep cars from veering off the road and dropping 30 feet into a dry creek bed. But the city had no solution at the time. Height believes if something isn't done soon, lives will constantly be on the line each time a car comes to that intersection. After hearing yet another crash on Thursday, she decided it was time to up the ante.
Last Friday, I wrote Mayor Hogsett a letter, mailed it to him.
RTV6 reached out to the city again today to find out what is being done to make the intersection safer. According to the Department of Public Works, adding guardrails could prove even more dangerous for drivers. Even though that option isn't feasible, they tell us they will keep looking for other ways to improve the intersection. Working for you on the northeast side, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And just after 6 o'clock on a dry Wednesday evening, wanted to give you a headline for tomorrow morning. Cold, but certainly not Arctic cold. And then over the weekend, we'll keep our eye on rain mixing with some snow before coming to an end. Bankers Life Fieldhouse, our day first is inside, and kind of a homecoming for an NBA player tonight to the Hoosier State. He'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Temperatures, upper 20s right now. We're destined for the lower 20s. Statewide temperatures range from 22 in Fort Wayne to 39 in Evansville. Did you notice how the skies cleared as we got mid to late afternoon, and we actually had some flurries earlier in the day. Temperatures in the low 20s at 11 o'clock tonight. This is what you'll wake up to. We'll concentrate on our warm-up, talk about why we'll be warming up, and when we have a couple opportunities for some snow.
I just don't know what to do, or where to turn, or how to get it corrected.
Tonight, a grieving widow is asking RTV6 for help after weeks of not getting answers. She says a local hospital where her husband passed away lost his personal belongings. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is working to find out how this happened and if there is a protocol in place to prevent it from happening to others.
The last month has been extremely difficult for Janet Wilson Harrison.
They lost everything.
Her husband was receiving care at St. Francis Hospital's South Campus after falling in their home, but he passed away on November 7th.
Several times I was up there to see him. I asked for his billfold, and they said it's locked up, it's okay, it's safe.
Janet tells me she has been in contact with the hospital staff here at St. Francis, but over and over they say they still can't find his belongings.
I've been without anything. Chase Bank froze my bank accounts because Howard and I were on the same account. I can't get that straightened out until I get a death certificate. I can't get a death certificate because he hasn't been cremated yet.
I asked Franciscan Health spokesman what happened and what protocol is in place to keep items like a wallet safe when patients arrive. He says in part, quote, because of privacy laws, we cannot discuss the details of this case. The hospital is unable to accept responsibility for patients' personal belongings during their stay. We recommend that valuables be left at home for safekeeping.
You put your trust in a hospital for your loved one, and then something like this happens, and they lose everything.
Janet is still holding out hope that they will eventually find the wallet. Until then, she's struggling to figure out what to do next. Her husband was the only living family member she had left. Working for you on the South Side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Very sad to hear there. A Franciscan Health spokesman says they strongly encourage patients to not bring valuables or treasured possessions with them before they are admitted for care. We are still waiting to hear back about whether or not his belongings were locked up and if there is a protocol in place. The parents of an Indiana toddler who fell through a window on a cruise ship in Puerto Rico have filed a lawsuit against Royal Caribbean Cruises.
That leads the RTV6 news feed. The parents of Chloe Wiegand, who is from South Bend, accused the company of negligence in her death. They say Royal Caribbean allowed a window to be opened last July. Chloe's grandfather, Salvatore Anello, has been charged in Puerto Rico with negligent homicide. He says he's colorblind and did not know the 11th floor window was open. Anello says he believed he was lifting the girl so she could bang on the glass. Chloe would have turned 2 this week.
March Madness will be coming to Indianapolis in 2022 because Cincinnati's downtown arena won't be ready to host the games. The NCAA confirmed Wednesday that Cincinnati's Heritage Bank Center will no longer be the site of the first and second round men's tournament games in March of 2022. Instead, the 6 games will be played at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The NCAA says they made the move because the arena in Cincinnati is not in the right condition to host tournament games.
One of 2 men charged in a 2018 shooting incident that left a 1-year-old Indianapolis girl dead is going to prison for 24 years. That was the sentence 30-year-old Brian Palmer received today in Marion County Criminal Court. Palmer recently avoided trial by pleading guilty to battery by means of a deadly weapon and aggravated battery. This case involved 1-year-old Malaysia Robeson, who was hit and killed by a bullet fired from the outside into her Northside Indianapolis home in March of last year.
An Anderson man will spend 10 years in federal prison on weapons charges. Last year, Anderson police got a tip that 33-year-old Keith Irwin had a shop in his garage where he was altering AK-47 rifles and other guns from semi-automatic to fully automatic. He was free on bond and awaiting trial on those charges when undercover officers say they bought illegal guns from Irwin on eBay.
The mayor of Jersey City now says the shooting that left 6 people dead was likely a targeted attack on a Jewish-owned store. It happened happened Tuesday. Investigators say a police officer, 3 bystanders, and 2 suspects are dead. New Jersey's Attorney General says the motive is still under investigation, but again, police believe this was a targeted attack.
We're learning that an FAA analysis after the first crash of a Boeing 737 MAX predicted there would be more crashes if there wasn't a fix for the automated flight control system, but the FAA did not take the plane out of service until there was a second deadly crash 5 months later. This information comes after the House Transportation Committee questioned the head of the FAA about his agency's oversight of Boeing and the MAX. Well, this may come as a surprise to you, but sex without consent is not a crime in Indiana. Right now, it's only illegal if there is force, threat of force, or if the person is incapacitated. State Representative Carly Macer is working on a bill that will change that and define consent under the law. Macer said while working on legislation to raise the age of consent for sex, she learned consent itself isn't defined in law. She said defining it will help protect people from sexual assault. Sexual misconduct is a prevalent topic in today's culture, but Macer says this proposal didn't specifically come from the Me Too movement.
It was time a long time ago to define consent. I was looking at the past work in the state of Indiana, and it was around 1995 when some of this conversation was even happening. I wish I had a better answer as to why it was not defined very clearly. To me, it isn't just about the Me Too movement.
Tonight, Macer is participating in a discussion about consent in Indianapolis. This event begins at 6:30 p.m. at the Julia Carson Government Center on Fall Creek Parkway.
For more than a year, Hiring Hoosiers has connected you to employment opportunities, resources, training, and education. And earlier this year, we spotted a sign on a school bus that read, "Now hiring bus drivers," and that the district would train you for free. So we decided to talk with the transportation director at Perry Township Schools about what it takes to be a school bus driver. RTV6's Lauren Casey hopped on board with a newer driver to see what a typical day on the job is really like.
My name is Don Thie. I've been driving here for Perry Township for about 1 year now. On a typical day, I get here to the school right about 6 o'clock in the morning. I usually give them a good greeting of a hello and good morning.
Well, you got to remember that drivers are the first people to see the children in the morning and the last people to see them at night. So drivers affect children in an unbelievable way.
The need is as big as this sign outside of Perry Township Schools. Plastered on this school bus on State Road 135, now hiring.
It's easy to jump into, into this seat.
Don tells us he works his routes from 6 a.m. to 9:15, goes home to work on his personal business, and then does more routes from 1:15 and is home by 5:15.
The challenges, there's a few challenges. You have to maintain discipline on the bus. Safety for the kids is always the number one issue.
So what it takes to become a bus driver, you need to start with a good driving record. We require 7 years of driving history, clean record. You need to be able to pass a background check.
You also have to take your written commercial driver's license test at the BMV, but Perry Township will do your CDL training on site for free and reimburse you for your exam. Depending on the driver, training typically takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks.
Because of the training, it's pretty easy to pick up. Here at Perry Township, they'll walk you through those steps.
And at the end of the day, you're not only working a job, but making a difference in the lives of students.
The smiles from the kids, as well as every now and then you get a thank you note from the kids.
Working for you, Lauren Casey, RTV6.
In Perry Township, contracted drivers start at $17.89 an hour. That includes full benefits and personal days. Pay can go up as high as $28 an hour. Drivers typically work 35 to 40 hours a week and commit to 180 days for the school year. To apply, you have to have a good driving record, and training typically takes a few weeks. And to connect with the Perry Township Transportation Department or see other positions they are looking to fill, go to hiringhoosiers.com and click on this story. We are 2 weeks away from Christmas, and some stores are still hiring holiday workers.
But a warning for you, not all job offers are legit, and those scams can be hard to spot. What you need to look out for so you don't lose your money.
And I'm Dave First, live Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Pacers with other big. We got the Boston Celtics, and on the Celtics, a few familiar faces as well, including Brownsburg's own Gordon Hayward down there warming up. I use Romeo Langford, produced Carson Edwards, plus a little chalk talk with the G League team in Fort Wayne. Coming up in sports.
And we've got something to talk about for the weekend. A rain-snow mix, potentially. Starts as rain Saturday. We'll talk about when it finishes and what Sunday may look like coming up.
Saturday at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Well, even though we are just 2 weeks away from Christmas, you can still find a job this holiday season. Major stores are hiring thousands of temporary workers.
But a warning tonight before you agree to work for anyone as we count down the 12 scams of Christmas. Number 2 involves job scams.
Yeah, stores like Target, UPS, and Amazon have all pledged to hire more than 100,000 workers this holiday season. These are real jobs and can turn into full-time employment.
But then there are ads online posted by scammers. You should be skeptical if the person offers to hire you on the spot without an interview. If they say you need to buy something first, like office supplies, or pay an upfront fee of some kind, it's probably a scam.
Some scammers may send you a check before you've done any work. They're phishing for your information.
Before we can hire you, we need you to verify your credit report. We need that information. So job scams are designed to collect personal information. And this is a tricky one because we are familiar with, if I'm going to get a job, I'm going to give my Social Security. I'm going to give my direct deposit information. So you really want to be cautious that you've been hired by a real company.
Here's what you need to do before accepting any job. Do research on the company. Does it exist? Search their address, phone number, company website. Call someone in HR and verify that the company is currently hiring. And working for you leading up to Christmas, we will bring you a different scam crooks like to use this time of year to help you avoid falling victim. You can also find the scams each day on our website at theindychannel.com or the RTV6 app. Kevin.
Thought I'd show you some Canadian temperatures here to start our weather talk. Look at the nose of the cold air comes down into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Won't quite make it here as far as really cold temperatures. In the battle, we'll push the cold air back north over the next couple days, and that means we'll begin to see a little bit of a warm-up in central Indiana. Our temperatures will be in the 40s next 3 days. Then we fall off for the second half of the weekend, and there's that transition on Saturday night that may include a little snow shower activity from our rain Saturday to snow showers. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, rain showers western portion or western half of the state, snow over in Illinois. We put this in motion. This slides to the east, and by the time we get to 7 o'clock in the evening, transitioning to snow showers and snow mixing in for the rest of central Indiana. And by the time we get to 11, the bulk of the moisture will be leaving as the coldest air arrives. But we'll be aware Saturday night may get a little slippery into Sunday morning as temperatures will be well below freezing by Sunday morning. Temperatures below freezing now, but we're dry. 25 in Crawfordsville, 38 in Bedford, 25 in Richmond. Skies cleared late afternoon. We had some snow flurries, snow showers in a couple spots to the north earlier. Full moon tonight, and this is kind of neat. 12:12 a.m. on 12/12. And skies will be clear for you to view that. Temperature tomorrow with a breezy south wind will jump to 42. 44 on Friday. We'll end the work week dry by breezy. Wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour expected. That'll boost the temperature, as we mentioned, just a little above average. As you start looking at Friday, clouds increase Friday. We hold off on any rain showers, though, I think until during the day on Saturday. Midday temperature Friday around 41. Afternoon high 44. That's the warmest temperature within the 7-day forecast. As we look toward the weekend, we talked about that rain then changing or mixing with snow before coming to an end Saturday, and especially Saturday night. We dry out. The chance for any snow on Sunday, just 20%. Here's your 7-day planner. Temperatures over the next 7 days on the mild side, relatively speaking, through Saturday. Much colder Sunday. Another weather system to watch as we get to Monday. May have some light accumulating snow potential with that Monday night. Temperatures are colder, down to 19 by next Wednesday morning, with highs only around the freezing mark.
All right, so 12, 12, 12, 12.
Yes.
Easy to remember.
I think we got that.
That's the full moon there.
12, 24, 36. Got it. Okay.
Okay, Dave First is standing by with sports, and he's at Bakersfield Fieldhouse with the Pacers.
Hey, guys, busy couple of nights for the Pacers. They had the Clippers on Monday night, got Boston tonight, best team in the Atlantic Division. Of course, the team they just lost to in a sweep of that first round Eastern Conference playoff series back in the spring. Take a look, though, at the Boston connections. And I'm not talking about Larry Bird's old restaurant in Terre Haute, but you got, of course, Carson Edwards for Purdue star. He's already played 20 games this season. The rookie had a season high 18 points last month. Brownsburg's Gordon Hayward now in his 10th season, which is hard to believe. Battling injuries, but is expected to start tonight. And a change this morning, I used Romeo Langford. I've been battling an ankle injury, but he's cleared to play tonight. Could play his first full minute of the season. Regardless of the Pacers, they say they're ready tonight based on what happened last season in the playoffs.
You know, it's definitely on all of our minds in the organization. You know, we got swept by them last year, so obviously we always want to play well against them, and they're playing really well right now, so they got our full attention. And, you know, coming off a loss against the Clippers, you know, we're hungry to get a win.
We'll see what happens tonight. Meanwhile, the Pacers minor league team offers more than a little experience for its young players. It also offers a very unique experience for some of its fans. Brad Brown with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
The excitement comes to a crescendo in Fort Wayne.
Starting guard 6'7" from Lavender High School, number 10, Brian Bowen II.
Game night for the Mad Ants. Head coach Steve Gansey gives his team some final words in the huddle. But about an hour before that, he is sharing his game plan with a different audience.
The big message to these guys right now is to have pace. I mean, if we're going to play small, we got to play faster. And we got to look for our shooters.
This plays out before every home game for the Mad Ants. Gansey holding a chalk talk session with season ticket holders. Started the tradition about 5 years ago when he was an assistant. It's continued even as he rose to head coach.
Just be with the people. I mean, that's number one. You know, some of those people are some of my best friends over the years, and you know, they come to practice and everything like that. So just to make them feel a part of it is huge.
It's something very rare at any level of pro sports, getting insight directly from the source.
Walt was going to come off the bench for us tonight. I wanted to switch up a couple different, things with the lineup.
Gansey breaks down matchups with the fans, talks about trends, even some X's and O's.
That's tough to guard, and that's where he gets to the rack, and he gets easy looks and high percentage shots.
The coach sometimes gets some pretty bold input from these fans, a unique perspective from the sidelines.
They had a 4-point play.
Yep.
Did I see that?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now that's one of the things that we've been working on is one, what can we do? One, we always try to get the last shot. Just trying to explain to them, what I was thinking here and what I was thinking there, and I get some tough questions, but I'll tell them how it is, and it's good banter back and forth.
On this night, the Mad Ants get a win. Next time out, Coach Gansey will be right back here, working toward getting the next one. In Fort Wayne, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
How cool is that? Hey, quick reminder, Monday Night Football returns to RTV6. Colts and Saints next week. Coverage begins at 7:30. Super Bowl champ Ryan Deem, Matt Hasselbeck will all join us pregame and after the game as well tomorrow. Or check that next Monday here on RTV6. For now, Pacers, Boston. Should be a lot of fun tonight. Highlights at 11. Until then, the news at 6 continues after that.
Call, click, or visit a store today.
I want you to see that Abel and Cooper are looking right at us, and that means that they don't see what's behind them. They can get in a lot all rooting around under the Christmas tree.
Hanging out by the tree. Sneaking out.
Clear with temperatures in the lower 20s as we gather at 11 o'clock tonight.
All right. Up next here is World News with David Muir.
We'll be right back here at 7. See you then.